Hello, people. Today, I want us to go through some virtual reality hardware and software components so that we can be able to see what technically constitute of virtual reality systems that we use today. As I've always pointed out, the virtual reality systems that are there today are advancing and they are taking space within our society, within our community, and therefore we ought to be having some kind of basic knowledge in terms of the components and the softwares that constitute a virtual reality environment. Now, virtual reality environment has got two major components that I'm going to point out, that is hardware and software components, which are very critical. They are very important in virtual reality. Now, we are going to start by looking at the hardware components. Now, the hardware components that we have, the main one is what we call the head mount display. Now, head mount display is a form of a headset that you wear on your head in order to view the virtual reality content. Now, it consists of high resolution display for each eye. It has got sensors, it has got lenses. So basically, the sensors are there to track the movements of your head. So when you tilt your head, it will be able to track that in form of motion and be able to adjust accordingly the virtual reality content you are viewing. We also have what we call motion tracking sensors. So basically, there are sensors. So sensors are part of a head mounted display, but we can also have external sensors which track the user's head and body movement in real time. So this tracking is very important for accurate rendering of perspective and maintaining immersion within virtual reality environment. Then we have the controllers. Now, these controllers include things like triggers, buttons, joysticks for input actions that you are uh, delivering to the virtual reality system so that you are able to have the content, or you are able to have the kind of the experience you need. Now, apart from controllers, we also have base stations or sensors. So external sensors or base stations are used to track the position of virtual reality device and controllers. Okay, so they are very important because they give us they contribute to accurate spatial tracking and very important, especially in a room scale virtual reality setup. Then we have the PC or the console. Now, the virtual reality experience often require powerful computing devices. The computer should be very powerful. It should a computer that has got a good specification that is able to, to comply with the requirements, uh, with the high requirements of virtual reality system. So it is important that it must have a graphic processing unit so that this is able to, maintain low latency and also to give you the optimized kind of rendering that you need. So it is important to know that there is always a graphical processing unit. This is a special kind of processor, right? That is specifically meant to process graphics within a virtual reality system. So it is a high performance processor for rendering detailed, immersive virtual environments in real time. So virtual applications demand substantial graphic processing power for smooth experience that you are always looking for. Then we have what we call the audio device. So these devices are there to basically augment the experience by giving you quality sound. So immersive audio is key component for virtual reality. The headphones or the built-in audio system provide what we call spatial and 3D audio cues, enhancing the sense of presence in the virtual world. So it is important because they enhance the experience that is always uh, what we need. Then we have the haptic feedback device. So some virtual reality systems include haptic feedback devices such as gloves or vest to provide users with tactile sensations. This enhances the overall sensory experience by stimulating users' touch and force feedback. So it is important to have this kind of devices within the setup so that to enhance your your experience with virtual reality. Now let us go into what we call software components. Now we have what we call virtual reality software development kit or SDK. Now this is an environment platform which offers various tools such as libraries, uh, applic- um, application interfaces for developers to create virtual reality applications. So example of such is what we call Oculus SDK. We have Team VR and Open VR. So these are some of the virtual reality software development kit that one can use in creating applications that are meant to be used with hardware within the virtual reality system. Then we have virtual rendering engine. So this is a special rendering engine used to create the render virtual reality environment in real time. So they optimize graphics for low latency and high frame rates to prevent motion sickness. Remember when I talked of the challenges or health issues regarding virtual reality. One of the major challenge in virtual reality environment is what we call motion sickness, which emanates from continued use of virtual reality. So we need to have systems that are able to put this kind of sickness away from users of virtual reality as much as possible. Then we have what we call the middleware. uh, so the middleware components facilitate communication between the hardware and the software layers. So they almost work like APIs. They handle tasks like input processing and tracking, and also integration. Then we have the virtual reality content itself. So we have virtual applications, game simulations, and experience that are content that the users engage with. So content can be created for entertainment, education, and training, or for other reasons. We also have virtual reality operating system. So this is a special operating system that operates on a virtual reality environment, or it operates and manage and also control the rendering process and the utilization of the the hardware components that exist within the virtual reality environment. So the virtual reality operating system is also a very significant um, element within virtual reality system. So we have, for example, we have Oculus, which has got its own operating system for the Oculus Rift. So it is important to have that in mind because uh, it uh, previously it was difficult actually uh, u- uh, to use the normal operating systems that are running on um, the mainstream computers to you know produce a very high quality virtual reality content. There were so many things that were needed to be put in place in order for a normal operating system to function optimally with the virtual reality systems. But with technology now, the creators of virtual reality realize that they need a specialized kind of operating system, and that one has been able to optimize the functionality of virtual reality systems within the environment. So we also have user interfaces. So virtual reality applications include user interfaces designed to immerse for immersive experiences. Now, these interfaces are optimized for virtual reality interactions using the controller and hand tracking. So apart from that, we have virtual reality integration design. So design principles specific to virtual reality guide how users interact with virtual reality environment. This includes consideration for navigation, interaction, feedback, and minimizing motion sickness. So it is imperative that we get to understand some of these basic components that constitute a virtual reality system, because on these devices or from these devices we are able to get what we are looking for. So thank you for your time and space, even as we continue discussing and talking more about virtual reality and how it affects our life. It is imperative that we keep on gaining knowledge on this technology, so that we are at par with the technology, so that we are not left behind, so that we are not left in the dark, because we'll grapple, and we don't want that. We want to always be informed. We want to stay informed, so that we have a chance of productively enhancing and making our environment a better place for knowledge to thrive and people to understand the kind of systems that we are using. And this will go a long way in making our world a better place. So thank you for your time. See you next time.